This is the third time I've done this video. Hey everybody, I'm Martha, and today we are going to talk about K-pop. It is almost 2:30 in the morning. The last one that I did, which I finished the talk, was 30 minutes long. I don't know how long this one's gonna be. I hope it's shorter, otherwise I'm gonna have to edit that other one. Anyways, so a couple things before we get started. Number one, these are my opinions and my experiences and things that I've seen. 2, I apologize for the noise in the background. 3, I apologize if I'm talking too low. My parents are asleep. And 2 was that. My arms are hurting and I had to switch arms to hold my phone. Got in time. Okay. So today we're going to talk about things K-pop. The first thing I want to tell you is about my experience in K-pop and how I got into K-pop. So how I first got into K-pop, I was into Japanese pop, or J-pop. I watched an anime called Inuyasha, and in one of the outros of Inuyasha, I forgot which season it was, a Korean singer who goes by the name of, she's a all-around singer and artist by the name of Boa, capital B, lowercase o, capital A, sang a song called Every Heart. And I was like, oh, I like this song. I wanted to hear more. And I was into J-pop for a hot minute. I listened to other Japanese artists, but I didn't, not a lot. I was into anime for, a hot minute. Not really into it anymore. Really don't have a lot of time to watch TV anyways. Mainly on my phone, and when I'm in college, I ain't got no TV. Anyways, where my train of thought go? Come back. Okay, got into J-pop, and I slowly transitioned into K-pop. The first K-pop song that I can remember is Big Bang's Fantastic Baby. This is the one that I can remember buying first. I really can't be too sure if like the first ever for me. But they're one of the first. But yeah, that was kind of like getting my toes wet. I wasn't really fully immersed into K-pop, but it was there. That kind of died off. I got more into like TV shows, specifically Criminal Minds. Spencer Reed. But during my first semester of my senior year, like towards the middle of it, I was on Tumblr and I saw this cute Korean boy. I didn't know he was Korean at the time, but Asian boy. I was like, oh, he cute, he real cute, I like him. Come to find out, he is in a boy band, a Korean boy band, who is named GOT7, and he is the leader. MJ Bomb, JB, Cat Lady. Sorry, J Bomb. Not sorry. But yeah, and I was like, ooh, I like their music, and they're talented. So GOT7, it has 7 members, as in their name, GOT7. The members are MJ Bum, or JB, Mark Twan, Jackson Wang, Park Jin Young, Choi Young Jae, Bam Bam, and Kim Yoo Gim. yeah. And there are 3 foreign members: Mark, Jackson, and Bam Bam. Mark is Taiwanese American, sorry. He's from California. Jackson is from Hong Kong, China, and Bam Bam's from Thailand. And they are all rappers. Foreigners are the rappers, and the rest are native Korean who are vocalists. Yeah. And I've been hooked ever since. I don't regret it. There are some times where I watch compilation videos and they're acting crazy and wild, and I'm like, I love these men, these grown ass men who are 5 fucking years old. I love them anyways. But yeah. And that's kind of how it's been ever since. I listen to GOT7, of course, BTS, only recently got into BTS, Red Velvet, CLC, a new group, Luna. They haven't debuted yet, but I listen to Eric Nam, Ailey, and stuff. Those are like, I guess you could say, big names. I do listen to a lot of Korean R&B. Here's the thing about me. If you take anything away from this video about me, I love R&B. If you play R&B, I don't care what any language it's in, baby, play it. I love R&B. Anyways, so yeah, that's how I got into K-pop, and you know, been in it ever since. It's been a year or so. A year and a couple months. But yeah, that's how I got into K-pop. Now on to pros and cons of K-pop. So the first pro is getting out of your comfort zone and out of your language barrier a bit. If you don't know Korean, you know, it's good to, you know, get into new things, to try out new things. There's nothing wrong with that. There's completely nothing wrong with that. You know, after this video, you may want to dabble into BTS or anything. I'll leave this recommendations in the description. And I personally didn't have to go through that because I was already into J-pop, so it wasn't too bad for me and whatnot. And another pro would be getting to know the artist or idol more. Compared to the American music industry, from what I remember, I really don't listen to the American music industry anymore, like mainstream anyways. In the South Korean music industry, you get to have a more personal interaction with idols. Like, you get to see like how they live and, you know, where they live, more or less, and other things of that nature. In America, you really don't see that often. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah. And I mean, there's talented people. I feel like you can find your sound in the Korean music industry. I did, for the most part. You know? And there's talented people that you see, like, people do tons of stuff: acting, rapping, singing, doing both, dancing, and whatnot. Another pro would be Asian representation, I guess. I'm not Asian, even though apparently I looked Chinese when I was born. Don't get that, but I'm not Asian. But yeah, Asian representation, I guess, would be a pro. There are foreigners, people who are not Korean in the music industry, in the K-pop industry. But don't try going to look for non-Asians. It's very rare to find anyone like that, and if you do, that group may not last long. That's happened on several occasions for some groups. Either that group doesn't last long, or that certain specific member leaves the group. Yeah. And those are the pros. I'll be more descriptive in the description. Weird. Now on to the cons. One con for sure that you'll have to be very aware of. Well, there's 3 cons I can come up with. The first, the less impact one would be the language barrier. In a lot of Korean songs, they'll have like English phrases throughout, so it's not too bad. And you know, there's translations and whatnot, but don't rely on translations, because like to always have translations, because that's not always going to be the case. And it sucks, especially for someone who doesn't know Korean, but you can learn the language too. That's like a less impactful one. The 2 cons that I can think of that like have impacted me the most is the fandoms and racism, colorism, and cultural appropriation. Now, starting with racism, colorism, and cultural appropriation. So cultural appropriation can be debated on a bit, but mainly racism, colorism. So for colorism, it's favoring the lightness or darkness of someone's skin tone, for simpler terms. And in a lot of Asian societies, they prefer to have a lighter skin tone. They don't prefer a darker skin tone. They think lighter is better. And I'm not saying this is for all Asians. I am not saying this is for all Asians, but in a lot of Asian communities, this is very much a thing. Just put that out there. You can do your own research and whatnot. This is my research and my opinion and what I've seen. And you see a lot of it. You see a lot of it in photos. You'll probably notice it in photos. When you look at photos of idols, you can see that they're very pale. And if you compare them to like other photos, you're like, oh, but like they're this pale in this photo, but they're not this pale, and they're darker in this photo. But colorism. And a lot of Asians, specifically in South Korea, makeup lines, they don't have like a broad color selection. It's very much very light, pale. You hardly see like any darker colors. And there are dark Asians out there. Don't get me wrong, there are dark Asians out there, but most people go for a lighter foundation, even though it doesn't match their neck or like their actual skin tone. Like, yeah. But yeah, that's colorism. It doesn't just happen like on the, you know, wanting to have a lighter skin tone. It does happen on the other end too, of wanting to have a darker skin tone. Racism, it's heavily prevalent in South Korea. It very much is. There are a lot of racial incidences with idols that happen constantly, and you get to the point where you're tired of it, and you get to the point where like you feel like you can't defend them anymore. It's like, you have the internet, research what you're doing and whatnot. It gets tiring when you see racism anywhere, but like when you see it coming from someone that you admire, or you know, whatnot, it hurts, because it's like, do you not care about me or anyone else? And typically you see the racism targeted at African Americans, or yeah. And it sucks because, like, do you not care about us? Do we not matter? And, like, when we see things like this happen, it's like, do you not care about international fans? And then, yeah. I was going to say something else, but that can go for the fandoms. But, yeah. It sucks. Now, on to the other con. Fandoms. Just like how I said, beware of colorism, racism, beware of fandoms. Fandoms will chew you up and spit you out. I am not joking. They get bad. They get really toxic. And it's unfortunately the few that stand out the most to other people. And that's why a lot of people possibly don't like fandoms. That's why some people leave. Fandoms can get real bad. So, for example, what I was about to say with the racism and colorism, if an idol does something, people, call that person out for the most part. But there are some fans who will belittle other fans. Other fans of the race that it did not involve. They'll say, oh, but he didn't do anything wrong, he doesn't have to apologize, he or she doesn't have to apologize. Or you can see fans of that race say, oh, well, it doesn't offend me, so it's not offensive. You don't speak for the majority, and you're not even a part of this race, so you have no say in it. And it disables the idol to take full responsibility for their fuck-ups. And they should take full responsibility for their fuck-ups. Especially the ones who've been debuted for a long time and whatnot. But it sucks when you see, like, incidences with idols happen, and they're coming from a foreign country. And what I mean by a foreign country, I mean either America or Canada. And I'm talking specifically about Wendy from Red Velvet. I'm gonna need you to check yourself, girl, because I will do it myself. Please check yourself. Thank you. Love you. Anyways, yeah. And it can get scary. Like, if you say the wrong thing, they'll come after you, like fandoms or fans. If you have an unpopular opinion, they will come after you. And I know it sounds scary. I know it does. But it's how it is. And it sucks. And fandoms can be a pro too. Because, there are other people who will stick up for you, who will say, well, I mean, yeah, you may not agree with them, but it's their opinion. Just like in the real world, if you have an opinion, other people probably have the same opinion too. And it sucks that, people get attacked for their opinion in general. Call me a hypocrite, probably because I am. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, fandoms can get real bad. So you have to be aware of toxic fans. Yeah. Fans can get real entitled real quick. It's sad. Country accent. But yeah. I'm not saying they're all bad, but there are a few bad apples in the bunch. But yeah. Anyways, like I said, I'll probably put more like my full argument in the description, because I was trying to rush through this, so it wasn't so long. It's 20 minutes, so whatever. But yeah, and that's the pros and cons of my K-pop experience and what I have learned. So yeah, I'm going to go to sleep now. Hopefully, maybe, I don't know. We'll see. But if no one told you today, I love you, I am proud of you, and we will see y'all whenever I upload a video next.